For an everyday on or off-road SUV with luxury amenities, it's really hard to capture all of that one. However, Land Rover of Tampa has given us the 2022 Land Rover Velar P250 R-Dynamic S in Byron Blue. New this year is standard heated front seats with a new cabin air filtration system, optional adaptive cruise control, steering assist for on and off road. So you're getting all of that mixture. For 2023, we're going to be getting a new HST that's going to have standard air suspension and nearly 400 horsepower with the i6 turbo / supercharger. Inside is encased with luxury. Room for 5, cargo capacity. On the exterior, the iconic blacked out elements that sets it apart. The rivals start with your BMW X3, Genesis GV70, Ford Bronco, Jeep Wrangler, the list goes on and on. But this is the only one that's luxury in the interior, on or off-road. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm gonna go over all the specs and details, starting now. The new Range Rover Velar R-Dynamic S definitely sets itself apart. We have the air suspension, so I've lowered it so you can really capture the moment with the R-Dynamic black exterior pack, the Range Rover badging, the grille that brushes into your LED headlamps, daytime runnings, and on the lower bit with your fog lamps and on the lower skirt. So I do like how performance driven it is. R-Dynamic badging now is in the front of the grille too, so it sets itself apart from the rivals. On the hood, you're going to have the Range Rover blacked out. The A-pillars and the whole roof with your side view mirror cap and the side area for the door panel and where the quarter panel meets. Going down to your lower rockers, that skirt that goes into your rear bumper that gets the gloss black, diffuser with your parking sensors, hidden exhaust, blacked out badging for the Velar and the Range Rover, so it keeps the sporty style of what we're looking at. Plus, it still can ford through water with the depth at 20.87 inches for coil springs, with the air suspension 22.83, clearance at nearly 10 inches. And when we're comparing it to the rivals, the tall, boxy style keeps the sexy / luxurious look that none of them are going to have. Upgraded 22-inch wheels. Dynamics is nearly 50-50 weight distribution. Double wishbone front suspension, a multi-link rear suspension, gas pressurized shock absorbers with an anti-roll bar, and coil springs. Optional continuously variable suspension system, which we have, uses sensors on the steering angle, your speed, and driver input. This also will help for your front and rear load leveling suspension. A length at 189.1, a wheelbase 113.1, extra sound dampening with laminated glass, viscoelastic plastic interlaid that changes vibration energy into heat energy. This first appeared in Europe with PVB acoustic windscreen. Going into the rear with your lower spoiler roofline that has the aerodynamic cues, shark fin antenna with the gloss black, wraparound LED tail lamps that go into the Range Rover badging. Towing is up to 5,511 pounds. And going inside to your cargo starts at 34.4 cubic feet. We have a 3-compartment storage tray that comes with Land Rovers and storage on the side. The rear bench split folds at a 40-20-40 split, maxing the cargo to 70.1 cubic feet. The P250 is not going to be the most powerful variant. However, because we have it here and you want to hear that exhaust note, start it up so you can hear it now. The Range Rover Velar P250 has the striking style that is like no other in its competition. And the reason why I say that is because this is for on and off-road, something that you really can't do with luxury vehicles, but you can in the Range Rover. They back the performance with a 2.0 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder producing 247 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed ZF automatic transmission, achieving 20 to 26 mpgs. 0 to 60, 7.4 seconds. Quarter mile, 15.7 seconds. Stopping 70 to 0 around 170 feet. So you have the safety for the stopping capabilities on your day in and day out use. You have the speed that's more practical than some SUVs of its time. It's not going to be as fast as the BMW. It may not be as fast as the Genesis. However, the Bronco, the Wrangler, they're not going to be packing the same luxury, and this is going to be quicker. You're not looking for a quick 0 to 60 when you buy this. You're looking for an everyday luxury on and off road. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2022 Range Rover Velar R Dynamic S P250 as we go into the interior, go over the tech, and take this for our test run. Entering inside the Range Rover Velar R Dynamic S P250. Headroom 38.2 inches, legroom 40.3 inches. I like the setup with this color contrast. Eclipse leather bucket front seats, 14-way power adjustment, heated, perforated grained leather, and suede cloth bolsters, which is created from recycled plastic bottles. With the tailored style Eclipse dash, the dashboard on the top is going to be plain, but it absorbs the heat, so it makes it cooler in the cabin with the gloss black in between your air vents, the silver outlining all of them. It makes it feel more airy and more room in the interior because of the minimalist aesthetic layout of the Land Rover Range Rover. T-shaped center with 2 stacked 10-inch screens. You have a 10.1 Pivi Pro. We have the navigation, so we have the pinch, we got the swipe. The upper screen is divided into 3 panels: navigation, media, phone. The top screen tilts at 30 degrees to a flush position when the car is off. You have your driving style, your energy impact, eco-tech, and history. The history tells you everything about your driving. Click into your wheel information, your terrain information. This will tell you all the settings for your comfort, your grass, gravel, snow. I'm going to just slide through these. You can pause and read them. Mud, ruts, sand, wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, HD radio, streaming Bluetooth audio. Switch to reverse. You have full trajectory, and on the other side you'll see your reverse parking sensors. The lower screen is a curved screen. 10-inch display, air condition, dynamic stability and hill descent mode, and your audio. Aluminum multi-function dynamic dial control buttons that was developed from Panasonic. What that means is when you push it, it will go from your climate control to your heated seats, and on the other side it will go for your fan speed or your dual climate control settings. Click into your dynamic program select for your eco, your everyday drive, comfort. You can just toggle through here and change different driving modes. And you get the palm rest for your gear lever that's out of Jaguar. So I do like that. Push that Land Rover button. That's your second cup holder. 16.9 ounce will fit without any issue. I would say a 20 ounce max. And you do have an area here that you can fit a larger cell phone. Elbows are going to be more sport derived, but it's doable because this is on and off road luxury. Open up as 2 tiers. You have a USB-C, a USB-A. It's pretty deep storage. You can move them forward and backwards. 3-spoke leather wrap steering wheel. It's multi-function times 2 on the left. When you push that center button with paddle shifters. And for the gauge cluster, you have a TFT display readout that can go through an array of information, and you can change the layout in the center. You can have your maps, you can have your media, and it will all display onto the center. For the door panel, you get the elliptic with ebony on ebony. It's going to be harder materials on the top, soft in between with the aluminum inserts. Softer for the elbows, one touch up and down for the windows. Meridian 12-speaker sound system, 400 watts with the Union Jack pattern for the grills. And you get a large storage pocket. A large pano moonroof that goes all the way to the back seats. Let's see how I look back there. For the back seats, headroom at 38 inches, almost the same as the front. Legroom at 37.2 inches. These are two-way power adjustment seats. So you can recline these seats. And that's pretty much as far as it goes. And you can also move them back so you have a little bit more cargo space. So I do like the fact that you have the ability to alter your cargo and to make it more comfortable. Center air vents, 12-volt, heated rear seats, storage behind both of the front seats. Elbows are going to be soft here, sporty on the door panel. A 20 ounce is going to be snug because you can see 16.9 ounces making some noise. Behind the driver and passenger seat, you can also hang up and put different connectors for your headrest area so you can optimize space. For the door panel, you're going to get the harder materials that's going to be on the top. You get the pattern structure, soft where you rest your elbows, with a large storage pocket. And the pano comes all the way behind me, so I do like that. It is pretty wide. Let's see how I look in the center. Sitting into the center, headroom is not an issue, nor is leg room, except that I'm blocking the central activities for your air vents, for your charging port, and your heated seats. Sharing feet, butt, shoulder space, but it is a pretty wide interior, so fitting 3 adults, recline the seats a little bit, and you can do it. And that's what I like about the Range Rover Velar. It's not overly sized, and you can fit quite a bit inside. You have the towing, the cargo capacity, and you have plenty of storage. Taking the 2022 Range Rover Velar R Dynamic S out for our test run. This is the P250, so it's a 2.0 liter turbocharged with almost 250 horsepower. So the numbers are not going to be that bad. This is an everyday vehicle. You're in the 7-second margin for your 0 to 60. The quarter mile is in the 15-second margin, so you are taken care of relatively well on that. And as for the ride, it's both on and off road. So you're going to feel some of the bumps, but it's going to be a lot more luxurious than the rivals. 247 horsepower with 268 pound-feet of torque, ZF 8-speed automatic transmission. Fashion statement that you get from the exterior and on the interior is definitely a delight. You're gonna hear the engine note, but it's not overpowering. And I like the tall, boxy stance that projects even while you're driving. It doesn't feel as long as the numbers project either. In the width, when you're looking on the exterior, it actually feels a lot less in that dimension than the numbers, even though in the interior, it feels ultra wide. Braking at around 30 miles per hour, it's not too bad. Gonna check that turn radius at more or less a stop point. It's going to get about 2 lanes. Give her a little go. It does get up to speed pretty good. It's gonna bring me to the 3 things I like and 3 things that I dislike. Is anything more than that, I'd be buying this Velar. The 3 things that I like about it is the fashion statement you get on the exterior and on the interior. A fabulous job they did, bringing me to the second thing. This is an on and off-road vehicle. So you get all of that luxury and that style on or off the pavement. Taking me to the last thing that I like, you can afford over 20 inches with the luxury. You could tow over 5,500 pounds with the luxury. I mean, this is an everyday vehicle that can be used for the family, and maybe you never use this for off-roading. And that's fine, because that's what this vehicle is capable of. 3 things that I dislike has to start off with the center console. It's a lot going on. You obviously get used to it. So the dislike becomes a like because it's multiple functions per button. So it does make it a little bit easy, but I can see when you first get the vehicle, you might want to just pull off to the side, kind of play with it so you can get adjusted to it. And to show you the fun of this Range Rover. If you're already driving, it goes seamlessly. You don't have any issues at all. I will say though, if you slow it down and then you give it some go, The hesitation is there, but it's not over the top in the sense of you're going to be concerned about something. You can still do your maneuverability and get around things. It's a top heavy vehicle, so don't go crazy. The second thing that I dislike, they did such a great job with the styling. Then this top part here, they just kind of was like, whatever. For durability purposes, this is probably the best material. However, because of the sticker price and because of how much fashion that they put, I would have liked to see that. And even on the door panels, maybe something a little bit more fashion that drives with the rest of the vehicle, because it kind of all sets it in a sense. But again, I get it because it does absorb some heat. So there is a plus to it. If you're in a sunny state like we are here, it's not as hot when you get into the interior. The last thing that I dislike goes into the cargo. I wish that the tire was underneath the vehicle, and I get why they did it because the departure angle is 30 degrees. However, I'm sure they could have retrofitted so you would have a little bit more cargo. Using the roof rails, you do have the most storage capacity, almost 200 pounds, where the rivals are going to be at like 120. So you are maxing out with that. Comparing it to the Wrangler, you're better with towing. Fording through water is going to be better with that, but you got the luxury with this when you're doing it. So you got to kind of take your pros and cons. If you're comparing it to the X3, you're not going to be able to conquer a lot of the things or terrain that this vehicle can do. So it ticks that box. The same thing with the Genesis GV70. You're just getting luxury. You're getting the best of all of the worlds inside the Velar. It's near Audi quiet. I mean, an everyday drive, I like what I'm doing here. You can go on a Jeep trail with this. You might not look so abnormal because this is a Range Rover, and that's something you can't do when you're looking at a BMW or a Genesis or even an Audi for comparison. Now, some of the features can be a little quirky here and there, as you heard, because the sun hit directly in front of the sensor, so it was beeping as if I was going to hit something. But the good thing about it is you have sensor functionality all around you, so the safety is taken care of. To show you how quiet the vehicle is, it's on auto start stop. The turn signal, it's very elegant. You barely hear anything outside. When I let off the gas pedal or the brake pedal, can kind of sort of hear the exhaust, but nothing else. The quietness, they really did a great job sealing up the cabin so you know you're in a luxury SUV. I like to thank Land Rover Tampa for giving us this 2022 Range Rover Velar R Dynamic S P250 for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, what are you waiting for? Click the next video, the subscribe button, check out the Details merchandise website and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.